Sean Strickland is not beating Bradley Martyn and me at the same time. We are two heavyweights that are both twice as strong as him. Before you guys lump me in with the bodybuilders, I actually train. You know how hard it would be to stop an Americana while another guy's laying on his legs? Striking. I mean, you can kind of keep guys at a distance when it's just striking, but when one guy goes for your legs and the other guy's taking out your upper body, you really can't do anything. You guys have seen too many movies. Martial arts is great, one-on-one, but when you have multiple guys coming at you that are my size, you better just start running. You guys have seen way too much Rush Hour, guys. Jackie Chan can't really take on 10 people at once. Sean Strickland doesn't even have that kind of style. What does he do if one of us gets behind him? What's he gonna do? You look at those pythons, imagine them wrapped around you.
So that is a friend of mine from TikTok, Dalton. I even got to meet him once. Real nice guy. He was fantastic. He is the greatest athlete I think I have ever had the pleasure of working with. He is insanely strong. He can dunk a basketball. He is faster than I have ever been or will ever be. As far as athleticism goes, he is the top rung on that ladder. He has had a lot of success on TikTok, and a lot of his success comes to showing people how strong he is, but explaining, and this is actually where I met him, here, or started talking about him, is claiming that because he is so strong, big, and explosive, he could beat almost any MMA fighter. The particular one that he was saying is he could beat Khabib. I said, you could beat Khabib. Khabib is, don't mess with the wrestlers. But with the exception of Khabib, I'll bet you could beat a lot of 155ers in UFC level. I think you can beat almost all 45ers, almost all 35ers, and with the exception of Mighty Mouse, I think you can beat pretty much all 25ers. Size does matter. Just being big doesn't matter, but being big, explosive, and athletic does. Now that being said, he is now talking about my good friend Sean Strickland, and I cannot let that fly. He says, Dalton Rowe claims that if he and Bradley Martyn, this is Bradley Martyn getting swept by a 55-year-old not UFC champion, Brian Callen.
Oh. Hang in there, Brian. Oh, yes. Oh, no.
Just another big, generic, big, strong guy. Were to fight Sean Strickland at the same time, they would win. Now, I understand, as I've explained, size matters. Size matters a lot. Explosiveness matters. Strength matters. And having two people on one matters a lot. What else matters is experience, which is all Sean Strickland, conditioning, which is all Sean Strickland, and Dalton's probably got conditioning too. It's just fighting conditioning is different. And just overall badassery, violence goes to Sean Strickland. Now, if we were to say this fight happens in the street, I still think Sean has got knives and guns and stuff. I think street rule Sean has got the edge there. If it were to happen in the cage, let's say this fight, Bradley Martyn and Dalton Rowe were to fight Sean Strickland. I think Bradley Martyn probably has about 3 minutes of cardio in him. I think he is stronger than Sean Strickland could ever wish to be, but I don't think he'd be able to get him down with the cage. I think he would shoot in and start to lift. Sean would defend a takedown, and Bradley would start to gas. I think then if Bradley's head is anywhere under Sean, Sean would start lighting him up with elbows. Dalton, though, would be stuck behind Bradley. Like, if you're watching this fight happen, Bradley's got Sean pinned to the cage. I'm guessing that's what happened. I don't think he'd be able to lift him because there are ways to stop. Look at my first knockout in the UFC. I knocked him out with my ass because he tried to lift me. Not today, son. And so while Bradley Martyn is in front of Sean, Dalton Rowe would be behind Bradley Martyn trying to hit what he could hit. It's hard to do. I think Sean would be able to, boom, couple elbows to Bradley Martyn, either soften him to the point he lets go and runs away, and then Sean gets the tee off a little bit, or knocks him clean out because the elbows would do that to a guy. I think when that bell rings, the raw violence Sean Strickland would bring to it. Now there are clips out there of Sean Strickland sparring multiple guys at once. None of them are as big and athletic, and eventually they get Sean down. You have to understand, Sean's sparring his friends. He's sparring people he likes. Now Sean spars like a dickhead a lot of the time. Like, he goes harder than he probably should, but he is not going all out. He is still pulling those punches, trying not to hurt somebody. If it were a real fight, two people on Sean, he would throw everything he had into every strike. You also have to, I don't know that he would kick in a fight like that. Maybe he would. Maybe just to keep people away, throw those little teep kicks up, aim at the face more than the body. I'm not sure. My guess would be he would go straight boxing, because I do think boxing is the best self-defense, and I think it'd be takedown defense. I think if they were to stand up at all, Sean would bomb, 2, 3, 4 in a row. As much as people want to think they would attack at the same time, it's hard to do because you get in each other's way. As an adult male, as an adult male in general, but then one that has spent his life fighting, I have thought extensively about what I would do if 3, 4, 5 people were fighting me, how I would do it. Run away is step number 1. If I can't run away, they've got me surrounded or whatever, what do you do? Hard and fast. You go after them, you hit them with freaking everything you swing. Skill stops playing so much of a factor. You just start whining. Now, because you are skilled and because you are trained, your punches are going to land a little more correctly. They're going to land, boom, they're going to land hard. Even though you're throwing wildly, they're going to land with a little more oomph because I know just naturally how to move my body. Sean Strickland's better. I'm not admitting that. Sean Strickland is the world champion. And so, naturally, he is going to have a lot of good instincts. I think at the very best that Dalton and Bradley would do is Bradley gets tired early, gets TKO'd quick, all while standing, and then it's one-on-one Dalton versus Sean. Sean's striking is better, his jiu-jitsu is better. Even though Dalton is the better round athlete, I don't think he has a chance against Sean one-on-one. I mean, he has no chance against Sean one-on-one. His only prayer is that Sean trips, like the one takedown helps or works for Bradley or Dalton, whoever gets the takedown, Sean ends up underneath. It's hard to fight somebody who's under somebody. It is. Now, the guy who's under, it's hard for him to get any offense as well. Maybe you can get some little elbows, start cutting them, start trying to knock them out from the bottom, but it's hard if somebody is on top of you, they get the takedown, they're in your full guard. It's hard for the other guy standing up to really stomp on your face, especially if it's in the UFC where you're not allowed to stomp on faces. It's hard to attack somebody when there's a big somebody on top of them. So that's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Dalton and I actually talked that there might come a time where he can come up to Nashville and we can work together a little bit. And maybe we'll get a little 2-on-1 action, him and a buddy versus me. I don't know what that is, but thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. And Dalton Rowe, no offense, you are the greatest athlete I've ever seen, and I do not look forward to rolling with you.